The rules of commas. A comma is a punctuation used to separate the elements in a series. So an example of the elements in a series would be eggs, milk, orange juice, and bread. A comma is used to separate those items in order for the sentence to make sense. It is very important to use a comma between all items in a series so the readers don't get confused. This is the correct way to use commas. I bought eggs, milk, orange juice, and bread. Another rule about commas is we use them to avoid confusion. These two sentences read the exact same thing, but the second sentence has a comma inserted after the word outside. The first sentence reads, "Outside the yard was covered with hundreds of broken branches." This sentence is meaning outside the yard, so beyond the boundaries of the yard, not in the yard. The second sentence with the comma reads, "Outside, the yard was covered with hundreds of broken branches." This means outside, not inside the house. This sentence is the correct meaning of what the writer wanted to say. Another rule we have about using commas is when we use commas plus a conjunction to connect two independent clauses. On this slide, the commas will be red, the conjunctions are green, and the independent clauses are blue. Conjunctions are connecting words, and an easy way to remember those words is the words fanboys. The conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Independent clauses are sentences that can stand on their own. So the independent clauses in this sentence would be, she was tired, she watched the movie anyway. The conjunction would be but, and then the comma is red. By putting the comma, the conjunction, and the two independent clauses together, it creates a better sentence, and it makes sense. She was tired, comma, but she watched the movie anyway. The final rule about commas that I have for you is about expressions. Use commas to separate certain expressions that are used in sentences. Some of those expressions, for example, are by the way or on the other hand. So an example of using commas with expressions would be this: I am, comma, by the way, comma, very nervous about this. If there were no commas before and after the expression, it would read, I am, by the way, very nervous about this. The commas around the expression make the sentence flow, sound better, and make sense. Another example would be Carter, on the other hand, is not nervous. There are commas around the expression to let the reader know what the writer wants to say and make sure that the sentence sounds clear. Now it's time to practice. This is a website that can help you insert commas into paragraphs so you know exactly where to put them. So what you do is go on any internet and type in grammar.ccc.com/quiz/comma_quiz.htm. It'll take you to this website and tell you the directions, but I'll summarize them for you. All you do is come down to the first box, and where it says, the first paragraph please, click it. The website gives you a paragraph with no commas at all. Your job is to go through and insert commas where you think they are necessary. So we'll go through the first one together. Although women's college basketball in Connecticut, so I'm going to put a comma after basketball, after Connecticut, is a marvelously entertaining and increasingly popular sport, comma. It is not hard to remember when it was not so popular. Only a few years ago, comma, my friends and I could decide on a Sunday afternoon to go to a women's basketball game at the University of Connecticut, comma. And believe it or not, we could get seats for free near center court. Of course, comma, that was before names such as Rebecca Lobo, comma, Jennifer Rizzotti, comma, Kara Walters, comma, and Carla Beirub became household words. Lobo's book, comma, Home Court Advantage, comma, which she wrote with her mother, was a bestseller for a brief time in Connecticut. If more than a couple of hundred fans showed up for a game, comma, it was considered a big turnout and games were played in practically silent gyms. Nowadays, comma, it is almost impossible to buy tickets to a women's game, comma, and you can't get seats even in the Civic Center unless you know someone. So you just go through the paragraph and insert commas where you think they're necessary. Once you've done that, you come down here and you press Grammar's version, first paragraph. The website will give you the correct answer to it, and you can match and see if you put the commas in the correct spot. So as you can see, we put commas up here by in Connecticut, but they're not really necessary. And you can just go through and see if you're correct. And they have more paragraphs that you can do it with too. This website is good for high school students because it's not as easy and it challenges you a little, but it also gets the job done and helps you to understand how to use commas in sentences.